This is a full story. Kitten wishes you all a happy and enjoyable story. Our 7th wedding anniversary. On the day of our 7th wedding anniversary, I found a thick stack of plane tickets at home, all headed to the same destination. Hailey, my wife, was supposedly on a business trip abroad, but her secret blog account had just posted a new photo, a boarding pass. Marriage, she wrote, is only a shackle. Only by his side can I truly be a child again. I let out a cold laugh and froze all her credit cards. The next morning, my phone lit up. 99 missed calls and text messages. Hailey was panicking. Honey, tomorrow's my promotion meeting. My cards won't work. I can't buy the ticket. What am I supposed to do? I replied, if you want to be a child again, why would you still need shackles? Another anniversary, and Hailey was away again. We had been married for 7 years. Met through a matchmaking event. Right age, compatible temperaments. So it naturally happened. She worked for a finance company. I ran my own media business. Income wasn't an issue. Our marriage, by all accounts, was smooth. We rarely argued, never fought over petty things. I was work-focused, but not oblivious. I knew that rituals in a marriage mattered. This year, for our anniversary, I ordered a custom blue diamond necklace. Hailey loved blue. It matched her navy gown perfectly. But the day before our anniversary, she called, her voice hesitant. Honey, I need to travel for work. We won't be able to spend it together. Please cancel the dinner reservation. My heart sank. It was the 5th year in a row. We couldn't spend our anniversary together. Strange how it was always this time of year. Her company would suddenly send her off. Every single time. I used to admire her dedication to work, but this time, a friend's call changed everything. The company Hailey worked for, my best friend ran it. He had hired her on my recommendation. He called with exciting news. He was getting engaged and asked me to bring Hailey to the engagement party. I was confused. Hailey's on a business trip abroad. How can I bring her? My friend sounded more confused than me. What trip? Are you losing it from being married too long? Our overseas projects are all mine to handle. You know that. There's no such trip. His words hit me like ice water. I stood frozen, but I didn't confront her right away. I believed in preserving a marriage. With grace and patience, blunt confrontation might shatter everything. I quietly called the restaurant, canceled the dinner, planned to tuck the necklace away as a surprise for her return. Then I made an accidental discovery. In our closet, inside the drawer where she kept her jewelry, there was a small wooden box, something I thought was just for storing accessories. When it fell, a thick bundle of boarding pass stubs scattered across the floor. I was stunned. Hailey traveled a lot, but she never mentioned collecting tickets. I picked them up. The dates caught my eye. Most were around holidays. Valentine's Day, Labor Day, National Day, Chichi Festival, Spring Festival, and every year on August 5th. Without fail, she flew to the same place, France. I rarely used the home office lately. It was mostly Hailey's space now. As expected, the computer was password locked. I called her, said I needed to revise a file for work, asked for the password. She paused, still sweet as ever, but refused to tell me. Why do you need it now? Didn't I tell you not to stay up late? Finish the work tomorrow at the office. That old laptop's awful anyway. I'm about to board, so I'll hang up now. Rest early. She didn't wait for my response. Hung up immediately. Usually, I would have let it go. Let her gentle voice lull me into sleep. But that day, I caught the faint smell of perfume in the study. Something I was especially sensitive to. I had chronic sinus issues. We never had any scented products at home. Yet there it was. A luxury European diffuser. On the windowsill. The scent? Citrus. Hailey's favorite. Its tag was still attached. A handwritten name in the corner. Mr. T. The moment I saw that name, my heart clenched. Too familiar. At our wedding, there had been a gift labeled with that very name. It made Hailey cry. She said it came from a dear friend abroad. Now, reading the handwritten message on the tag, I finally understood. What made her cry that day might not have been friendship at all. All these strange signs pushed me to uncover the truth. I'm an engineer. Hacking into a laptop wasn't hard. The moment it turned on, the screensaver froze me in place. A photo. Hailey and another man. She looked younger. A hint of baby fat still on her face. Her eyes gleamed, her smile radiant. The man beside her, handsome, smiling, wearing matching shirts, rings. Their photo template marked with a bold love. I remembered our talks during dating. When I opened up about my past, Hailey told me she had no past worth remembering. Now, that sounded ridiculous. She may not have had past feelings worth remembering, but clearly, she had someone worth remembering. I never imagined a pile of boarding passes would lead me to so much heartache. Her personal laptop was full of things I never knew. Every I'm busy day was spent with someone else, Mr. T. And it wasn't just travel. There were photos of dinners, hand-holding, kisses, embraces. Every possible romantic act, captured tenderly by the camera. She had even made a digital album, titled Cherished Love. I stared at the screen, lost, until a pop-up window blinked. The blog was still logged in. Out of instinct, I clicked in. It was a couple's account, with nearly 500,000 followers. I knew Hailey was into social media. She had always maintained accounts, sometimes even accepted paid promotions. Her online persona was a pampered heiress. She told me, online, you have to tap into pain points. Showing off is annoying. But sweet, romantic showing off is enviable. I never interfered with her purchases. Our finances allowed for it, and if it made her happy, why not? But I had no idea. Her most successful account was a couples page with someone who wasn't me. Her only followed account belonged to an art blogger, IP located overseas. A rich woman and artist setup. They claimed they were lovers, separated by continents, only meeting during major holidays. The latest post on her page was the flight ticket from our anniversary, captioned, "Marriage is just a shackle. Only by his side can I be a child again." My heart chilled inch by inch. In these 7 years, I had never mistreated her. I trusted her, indulged her. Yet the one she flew to over 10 times a year was the one who made her feel like a child. Then what did our 7 years mean? What did I mean? Evening fell when I received a foreign transaction notice. Hilton Hotel, a French restaurant, a luxury cruise. I never used to question Hailey's spending. She was always busy with work, so when she traveled abroad, I figured she deserved to enjoy herself. Maybe that's why she never felt the need to hide these bills from me. Her tone in the message was as smooth and reasonable as ever. "Honey, I've just checked into the hotel. The trip was exhausting, so I'm heading on a cruise with my colleagues to relax and grab dinner. They came with me. It'd be awkward to split the bill, and we're not exactly short on money, so let's just cover it, okay?" If I hadn't seen that True Love album on her laptop, I might have believed her. Ridiculous, isn't it? Was I supporting two people with this marriage all along? It didn't take much effort to dig up information on this Mr. T. My friend was shocked when I asked, "A designer with a criminal record? Why are you looking into him?" Real name's Tony. He used to ride a small wave of fame online, showing off his face and designs as a talent from a university. But then people exposed him for plagiarism. And you know how the design world treats plagiarism. He couldn't survive in the domestic market after that. I heard someone funded him to study abroad in France. Hearing that made my eye twitch. Something felt off. I grabbed my friend's arm and pressed him. "What kind of design did this guy do?" He glanced at me, confused. "Interior design. He was even recommended by your wife when I was renovating my house." But I knew the gossip in the circle, so I warned your wife not to waste money on someone untrustworthy. My tangled emotions were suddenly consumed by fury. I stood up and called my assistant, ordering him to retrieve the contract from our home renovation years ago. He moved fast, probably scared by my icy tone. When I saw the contractor's name on that document, I laughed in disbelief. I had trusted too much. Trusted this marriage. Trusted the woman who promised to spend her life with me. Back then, I hired a designer for our new house. Hailey nitpicked constantly until I gave in and used her promising young designer. Turns out, I had already met Mr. T. He'd even called me brother-in-law right in front of my wife. At our wedding, I had vowed to family and friends that I would cater to Hailey's every wish. How prophetic. Everything was arranged to her liking. Even her lover. Was my doing, wasn't it? How considerate of me. My parents had a miserable marriage. As a child, I suffered from their constant fights. So now, I held marriage sacred. When I married Hailey, I truly wanted a lifetime with her. But the truth, revealed by what was meant to be an anniversary surprise, sent me spiraling into confusion. I followed her couple's account using a private profile. Like self-inflicted torture, I read every record of her freedom outside our marriage. Our first anniversary, she went to the Louvre with him, laughing and running by the fountains. Second anniversary, they were at Namsan Tower, locking their eternal love to the railings. Third year, they toured Italy. He painted on the lawn while she beamed behind him. Fourth in Germany. Fifth in Australia. Sixth, this year, she landed in Iceland, snuggled in a wooden house with a fireplace and thick rugs, gazing dreamily out the window as she fell asleep in his arms. The comments section was full of admiration, as if the whole world was witnessing a perfect love untouched by the ordinary. Occasionally, a fan would ask, "When are you two getting married? You have money and time. What are you waiting for?" Money and time. What poetic words. But in this world, there's no such thing as a perfect setup. If someone enjoys the dream, someone else must carry the burden of reality. So here's the question. Why should I bear the burden for their love? I wasn't going to quietly swallow the betrayal. And I sure wasn't sparing the man who had lived off my marriage for 7 years. I called my lawyer on the spot, told him to draft a lawsuit. That renovation contract wasn't just for confirming Mr. T's identity. I was also preparing to hold him accountable for both the affair and his professional misconduct. As the saying goes, a dog can't stop eating shit. Maybe it was to protect the affair, or maybe he was just shameless. But this designer even dared to plagiarize others' work for our interior project. I may not be a design expert, but I've seen enough floor plans. On move-in day, I was stunned at how our house looked exactly like one featured in a design magazine. I'd assumed we got lucky and found a top-tier designer. Later, I casually did some digging. Surprise. Our home was a carbon copy of financial tycoon Sam's house. Using another designer's work in private? At best, it's laughable. At worst, a career-ending scandal. Our place mirrored Sam's exactly. How was the original designer supposed to hold their head high? Wouldn't that make it seem like Sam wasted millions on a unique design that wasn't unique at all? While I was discussing lawsuit details with my lawyer, Hailey posted another flashy photo. Caption: went bag shopping with him today. Finally picked the perfect one. He always says I spend too much, but spending for someone I love is my greatest joy. She wasn't wrong. Spending for someone you love is a blessing. But when that blessing runs dry, misfortune is bound to follow. 3 days passed. I didn't call Hailey once. At the end of her business trip, she finally noticed something was off. She called, trying to act concerned. I was busy. My replies were cold and distant. It didn't take long before she snapped, launching into complaints. Rocky, you only called me once in 3 days. Now I take the initiative and suddenly I'm the bad guy? Do I even matter to you anymore? Being married to you feels so painful sometimes, you know? Other than making money, what are you even good at? I paused mid-sip of my coffee, speechless at her logic. The one who spends freely was now blaming the one earning. When I didn't answer, her tone turned sharper. By the way, remember before we got married? You promised to give my parents $80,000 a month as retirement money. I just spoke to them. Make sure it gets to them soon, okay? Don't keep them waiting. My voice dropped, and my displeasure finally showed. My company is facing serious issues. Starting this month, there'll be no $80,000. If you want your parents to have money, use your own salary. They're your parents after all. You wouldn't want them to go without, right? She sounded like she'd been electrocuted. What? What do you mean you can't even manage $80,000? Don't you still have your investment funds? Withdraw those. My parents are planning to help my brother buy a house. As their eldest daughter, I should contribute. You better not screw this up. Don't upset my parents. Remember how you begged them to marry me back then? I cleared my throat and interrupted her rambling. Hailey, let me make this clear. There's no more $80,000. If you want to be filial, that's your business. If you want to help your brother, that's also your business. Leave me out of it. I always turned a blind eye to her vampire-like family. Never made a fuss. Never drew lines. She had never heard me speak so bluntly. 2 sentences in, she was stunned. Rocky, are you really going to calculate things like this with me? This isn't calculating, I said calmly. It's refusing. If we were to calculate, your parents and brother have taken thousands, even tens of thousands from me. For your sake, I gave willingly. Don't say I never helped your brother buy a house. He's probably taken enough from me to afford one. And your parents? I heard they built a villa back home. Where do you think the money came from? Their $1,500 a month pension? She was silent, then mumbled, "We'll talk when I'm back," and hung up, flustered. 15 minutes later, Mr. T posted another new bag, new love photo. I smirked, then called the bank. Canceled Hailey's credit card on the spot. Wait for you to come back. By the time you return, this mess will already be over. As I had expected, the next morning, my phone was bombarded with countless messages and calls. Each call came from some distant relative or a long-lost friend I could barely recall. Speaking in a somber tone, "Rocky, your wife is having problems with her card. She's stuck overseas. You need to help her get back." It was amusing. Everyone seemed worried enough to remind me, yet not a single person offered to actually help Hailey. I didn't pick up her frantic overseas calls until after I had leisurely finished breakfast. When I finally answered, the woman who had been cold and distant just last night was now unusually gentle, even a little humble. "Hubby, tomorrow is my promotion meeting, but my card stopped working. I can't buy the flight ticket. What should I do? Please call the bank or transfer me some money. I have to get home today." Her desperate tone didn't move me one bit. In my view, after enduring such a betrayal, I was the one who deserved to fall apart. By early morning, the online gossip mills were already flooded with side-by-side photos comparing our bedroom to the one in Sam's home, identical in every detail. It was only a matter of time before Mr. T received a lawsuit. I no longer had the patience to pretend to be the devoted husband in front of my wife. So I laid it all out plainly. What use is a cage to someone trying to return to their childhood self? Silence fell on the other end of the line. A dead, heavy silence. I found that silence satisfying and added, "I saw the flight ticket. Your computer wallpaper looks nice." I didn't finish browsing the photo album. Thought I might get too angry. I've said what I needed to. "Do you have anything to say?" Hailey seemed to realize then that there was no turning back. She paused, then started venting. "Rocky, I've told you before, trust is the most important thing in a marriage. Just because I missed holidays and anniversaries with you, you're treating me like this. You are my husband. T is my soulmate. How does that conflict? You froze my card, cut off support to my parents and brother over such a petty matter? You've gone too far." I was speechless at her shameless audacity, not even interested in arguing. Instead of spinning stories here with me, maybe try borrowing some money for a flight home. Otherwise, you and your beloved are going to become national headlines. I guess the real reason Hailey called was to get her financial privileges reinstated. She'd been spending freely abroad and had a luxury handbag shipment waiting to be confirmed. She never expected I'd blow things up like this. Though we were once married, I hadn't intended to be this ruthless, but I hated her for never once giving me a shred of honesty in our relationship. There was no promotion meeting. She could afford a ticket if she really wanted to, but she wasn't coming alone. She was returning with T, who had finally earned a spot in a design competition and was aiming for a comeback. She told everyone I cut her cards and left her without money to fly home. But the rumor only ended up exposing her affair. She scraped together enough for 2 tickets from Iceland to China, only to be swarmed by gossip-hungry reporters. The moment they landed, most reporters weren't interested in her. They were there for the infamous plagiarist by her side. One question after another. Mr. Tony, what do you say to designer by Chin's accusations of plagiarism? How do you plan to respond to Sam's lawsuit? Why did you steal other people's designs? For basic commercial use? You've been accused of plagiarism for years. Where did you get the courage to change your name and return to compete in design? Is the woman next to you your sponsor or your lover? Hailey had never seen anything like it. Her face turned ghostly pale. She struggled to move through the crowd, while her so-called lover gripped her arm and hissed. How the hell did this blow up like this? She was being yanked around, barely able to stand, and called me like crazy. I didn't answer. Instead, I called my lawyer. Make sure we pursue this to the end. Take our time with the lawsuit, but I want Tony to be completely blacklisted from the design world. My lawyer gave a calm smile. Sir, don't worry. Even if we let it go, Sam's side definitely won't. Mr. Song spent millions buying those design blueprints for his daughter's wedding. You think he'll let this go? In my opinion, your wife is the one who should be worried. Tony can't even afford a plane ticket. Where would he get the money for lawsuits or damages? I gave a cold laugh. Her affairs are no longer my concern. To her, I was always just a money-making fool. After all these years of being taken for a ride, it's finally over. I sent the divorce papers to Hailey while she was still frantically trying to save Tony. After getting turned down by everyone she approached, she showed up at my office, furious and out of control. A cup of coffee hit my white shirt, and the woman standing before me was nothing like the confident figure from just 2 weeks ago. She glared at me with hatred, like I was some demon. Rocky, after everything we've been through, I never thought you'd be this despicable. We were together for 7 years. All I did was go abroad occasionally to see an old friend. And you blow it up like this? You ruined both T and me. You're taking revenge on him. The house renovation was years ago. Why bring it up now? Dragging Sam into this? You're disgusting. I wasn't surprised by her blame shifting. I listened and laughed. You talk like I forced your hand. Like I pushed Tony to plagiarize. Don't you remember how you flaunted him on your blog? Did I wrongly accuse you? Wasn't it you who cheated? Was it my hand that copied those designs? Get a grip. Lady, you're not my wife anymore. I'm the one filing for divorce. And you still expect me to protect your reputation? Coming here to throw a tantrum? Just leave. By the way, Tony is the one legally responsible for plagiarism. Unless you're so eager to tie yourself to him, you'd better stay out of it. But if you want to keep playing the loyal couple, suit yourself. Instead of yelling at me, maybe try pulling some strings. See if you can help your dear friend reduce the damages, since he lives off you anyway, and I'm not paying your bills anymore. He's going down with you. I let all of that out. Hailey had no comeback. Only when I called security did she seem to realize just how serious I was. Gone was the arrogance. She asked meekly, "Hubby, over such a small matter, do you really want to divorce me? Do you feel nothing for what we had?" I gave her a cold, polite smile. Correction. From the day I decided to divorce you, there's been nothing left between us, to be precise, since the day I found that stack of plane tickets. Any feelings we had were already gone. I stared straight into her flickering eyes, speaking slowly and clearly. Hailey, we did have love, but you threw it away. Sam's financial firm was a giant no one in the industry could mess with. Even I would have had to bow my head, let alone Hailey, a complete outsider. And Tony, with nothing but scandals to his name. When they ran into Mr. Sam, it was like Prometheus meeting Zeus. They didn't stand a chance. I didn't follow the lawsuit too closely, but my friends did. They came running with gossip. Supposedly, Sam's company demanded over $10 million in compensation, causing Tony to break down in court. Even with Hailey's impassioned speech in defense of her lover, the verdict was still against him. The ironic part? That deeply in love couple ended up fighting in the street after court. Hailey slapped Tony across the face. He responded by beating her in public. The scene was so intense, it got filmed by gossip fans and quickly went viral. Tony's comeback was completely destroyed, and Hailey never expected her plea for help would result in such rage and violence. She sat on the street, sobbing and screaming. Nothing left of the glamorous woman she once was. Just a worn-out, bitter figure, crushed by life. I thought I'd feel satisfaction at this poetic justice, but I didn't. I just felt a dull ache. Still, I had no illusions of kindness. I quietly let Sam's team know I would cooperate in every way to pursue justice for the stolen designs. Letting others off only sets traps for yourself. I've already been burned once. I won't let it happen again. After the verdict came down in the infringement case, Hailey vanished without a trace. Her beloved blog account hadn't been updated in over a month. People started urging her to post in the comments section. Hey, what's going on with the blogger? Did she really go back and get married? Why hasn't there been a single update in so long? Even the brother-in-law stopped posting. I was counting on him to analyze that hot infringement case from a designer's perspective. Her sister's a rich lady. She must sympathize with what happened to Sam's company. Imagine buying a unique design, only to have it copied out of nowhere. I'd be furious too. Anyway, when are you two coming back to update? Without your rich and leisurely romance, I can't eat or sleep well. But gossip-hungry onlookers didn't understand how much fiction the internet holds. The sweet couple they kept referring to was most likely gone for good. One vanished underground. The other lay in a hospital bed. It was only much later that I heard about Hailey from a mutual friend. They said she refused to help Tony pay the damages. With nowhere else to turn, Tony took her to shady clubs to entertain men for money. Hailey, who had carried herself with pride for most of her life, couldn't tolerate such humiliation. When her temper flared, she smashed a bottle over a big shot client's head. The incident even made local news. Tony had already become a public enemy, and Hailey's family wasn't exactly easy to deal with either. The two sides fought over who should bear the compensation, arguing right in front of the police station. In the scuffle, Hailey's own younger brother pushed her down. She hit her head by accident and ended up in the ICU. Her family, ironically, took that opportunity to squeeze a hefty sum out of Tony, but it was just hush money in exchange for dropping charges. No one truly cared whether Hailey lived or died. When my friend told me all this, they chose their words carefully, afraid of triggering my emotions. But after hearing the whole story, I just smiled lightly, my expression calm. Though our 7-year marriage ended on a sour note, I knew, deep down, I had done nothing wrong. I had never mistreated Hailey. Even when we divorced, I never calculated who owed whom in the relationship. I can look back with a clear conscience. So why should I burden myself with guilt that doesn't belong to me? I still have dreams to chase, a career to build, and faith in love. The future is long. Let's see where it takes me. The end. If you like Kitten's story, please follow and like it. Updated every morning at 9 a.m.